Welcome to the Nameless Podcast. I'm Matthew Lopez-Kronicz. Thank you for joining us. My entire life, I felt like I was nameless and faceless. I didn't have value for the world. I didn't have a story. I didn't really matter. Last year in 2018, that really all changed. I woke up one day and I discovered I do have a story. I do have value to share to this world, and I do have a purpose. That is what the Nameless Podcast is all about. It's about uncovering our own truths, telling our stories, and sharing it to the world, and hopefully making someone's life better. So join me. Every week, we're gonna uncover truths. Truths about myself, truths that I find out in the world, and sharing it in my own words. This is a podcast diary of sorts. We're also going to bring you interviews from amazing people. People that you don't know. Some people you might know. But it's going to be a journey of our own truths, our own way to uncover who we are and where we're destined to be. So, sit back, relax, take a listen to the Nameless Podcast. I'm Matthew Lopez-Kronicz. I appreciate you listening. As always, subscribe, share, do whatever to get the message out, because we all matter in our own way, and that's what this podcast is all about. Let's take a listen. Welcome to the Nameless Podcast. I'm Matthew Lopez-Kronicz. It's March 20th, coming to you on March 25th. Yeah, today's March 25th. Yeah, Monday, March 25th. It's another Monday. It's another Monday with the Nameless Podcast, coming to you every Monday and Wednesday. And today, I wanted to talk about ownership. And for pretty much the majority of my life, ownership never really fell upon me. Once I started working and decided different things and decided that, I needed to have a job with a title that had, what I was striving for, manager, and then, want store manager, general manager, just wanted more money and higher titles. I never, things never fell. I never allowed myself to feel that I had any sort of ownership or that responsibility for things falling within my lap. It was always, I didn't get this or that because of this person or that person, and really allowed myself to live within the world of the political structure within organizations, and that I was also siloed into thinking that, I have to stay retail manager forever. I have to stay in retail. What else am I capable of doing? And I've seen David Meltzer and a lot of other people talk about how you are what you think you are, and that's totally true. I mean, it's totally within your mindset of the first step being, take ownership of the fact that you own absolutely every piece of what you're living. I mean, you can reasonably make any sort of change or any sort of pivot you want. It's just a matter of how much pain or how much work you're going to put in to make that happen. And I myself, though I was putting in work and a lot of it felt like I was not moving, I owned all of that. I owned all of that without even realizing it. And I see that a lot too, that a lot of people, they're putting in a lot of work thinking that it's getting them somewhere, but it's not getting them anywhere that they actually want to be, and then thinking that, hey, I don't really want to be here, but this isn't my fault. And I know exactly what that feeling feels like because I never thought anything was my fault. It was always someone else's doing, and I couldn't really recognize how to get out of it. And I've been asked this before, is there like one moment, and I'm not really sure that there's ever any really one moment in anything. It's it's millions of little moments that all just kind of add up, and then it snowballs to the point where you're kind of self-aware of, oh crap, this doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And then you start, you're self-aware and you're like in tune with what's going on, and then you you come across more information or content that's talking within the same lines, and then it expands your idea or your consciousness of what you are actually capable of. And that's kind of what happened to me, because then, I've stumbled across more and more podcasts over the last few years as I really started to understand I can do anything, and I own the entire space. There's nothing that I'm not capable of. There's nothing that I don't own. And I'm still, I mean, there's in no way that I have mastered or conquered it, because I mean there's moments even with communicating with my in-laws where they communicate to me in a certain way, and I realize that, okay, well, how I want them to, I guess, so to speak, treat me, I own that too, because if I continue to act in a certain way, then that's not going to change the way they act towards me. I mean, you really can dictate what you want or how you want people to treat you based on your actions. Because really the only thing that you can control is your actions. But if you're getting the same thing, it's almost like making a dish. If you cook it the same way, it's gonna probably come taste the same way. You gotta change it up. You gotta try different combinations. And that's really kind of the cycle, the conundrum, is that there were times where I'm doing the same thing, expecting different results, which is weird. But in the moment, I can recall my mind being so caught up in all of the crap that just doesn't matter, and all the noise, and still expecting a different result, still expecting something different. And it's so weird, but it's so weird to me now to think back at that, because I literally thought there was going to be something different. And I see that too. I mean, I see that within my family, where they think things is going to be different, but they're doing the same thing, but expecting a different result. I mean, it's the same variable, it's the same math problem. You're going to get the same answer. It's all going to come out the same way. And it is the key to unlock that is all about changing the way you look at things. And once you start changing the way you look at things, even if it's a slight, I mean, any change to a variable is going to get you a different result. And once you start looking at it a different way, and then you start getting a slightly different result, and then you can just expand on it. I mean, that's really what I did. I mean, it took time. And anything's going to take time. It's literally, you're not going to roll out of bed and change up the variables and get a completely different result tomorrow. It doesn't work that way. It really doesn't. Because life has a funny way of just pulling you right back. The current pulls you right back to where you were before, because it literally is going to take incremental work every day to change it. I mean, that's really That's really the secret sauce. And that's changing your mindset so that you realize that, man, I own all of this and I can make anything I want out of it. So that's all I have for today. Take your ownership. Love to hear from you guys. Let me know how you took ownership of your life, how you started to steer your own ship. Love to hear stories. Love to hear when people let me know what they got going on. Places you can find me. Two best places. Find me on LinkedIn at Matthew Lopez-Kronicz, or find me on Instagram at Matt Lopez-Kronicz. I'm going to make something I'm definitely working on this week, so keep an eye out for it. I need to get a couple of different videos out. It's been like 2 weeks since I've dropped some video content, so that's kind of my thing I'm working on this week. Writing all the time. Trying to get back to working on a speech, and that's what I'm working on. Still looking for, side projects, things to do with that, so keep an eye out for that. I'm looking around. But that's kind of what besides, the typical work and all that stuff. But those are the side interesting things that I have going on. Love to hear what you guys have going on. Love it if you left me a review. Let me know what you think of the Nameless Podcast. Other things I got going on, Tuesday and Thursday, look out for it. The Matthew Lopez-Kronicz Show. Probably be talking about the NCAA tournament. We're now under a month, about a day less than a month till Avengers Endgame. Almost said Avengers Infinity War. So I'll be talking about that. And it's almost NBA playoffs. So probably got to talk about that. Not probably, definitely. So those are things that keep you out for that on the Matthew Lopez-Kronicz Show. Tuesday and Thursday, all the different places that you can find the Nameless Podcast, find the Matthew Lopez-Kronicz Show. If you want to subscribe and share, that would mean the world to me. Let me know what you got going on in your life. Love to hear from you guys. I will talk to everyone soon. Have a wonderful day. Great week. Let me know how I can help.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.